So ever since the Trump administration, said that starting May 5th, they're going to go after anyone who's delinquent on their student debt, right? Through wage garnishment or through taxes. That anyone that is delinquent, they're going to come after you, right? So ever since that, that announcement, a lot of people are coming to a conclusion that they're just not going to pay. Whether it's because they don't got the money, or just out of principle, they're just not going to pay. And see, this is the problem with the whole pausing the student debt, right? People have gotten to this point where they feel they've gotten comfortable of not making payments on their debt, right? And now that student loans are restarting, and the people that continue to make payments on their debt while it was in pause are smart, because they understood that there's going to come to a point where they're not going to rely on the government to just cancel their student loans, because we all know when it comes to Democrats and their promise to just eliminate student debt, we all know it's BS, right? We all know it's BS. And for a lot of people, they said, I'm going to continue to make payments on that debt and not have to rely. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then at least you're making payments. But for a lot of people, they just said, I'm not making payments. And now that things are restarting, it almost feels like they're getting to a point where they feel entitled that they shouldn't have to make payments. Okay. So you got this woman here on this video where she's coming out with, she's saying that we should do a debt strike. All right, so let's hear what she has to say, and then I'll share my thoughts.
You know what? Okay, I know I'm insane, and I know I'm the internet's favorite crash out. What I'm going to say right now is I'm not paying my debt anymore. What we're doing from this point forward is a debt strike 2025. If I have to do it alone and be insane, I will. I literally will. The fact that we would continue paying our debt, we can't stop paying our rent because that's too crazy. It'll put a lot of people in harm. I'm sick of protesting. It does nothing. I don't want to go to war because look how skinny my arms are. We have to do something. I'm not paying my debt. You can join me on this or you cannot. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to keep records of the debt that I have right now, because when the interest rates go up on that, I'm not paying those either, even when they start to meet our demands. And the demands are as such: abolish ICE, okay? I want those men home from El Salvador. I don't care. And we need to protect Medicaid. The Department of Education needs to be restored. I want critical race theory in the classroom, period. We need to literally be delusional. I'm going to be delusional right now. I will stand here right now, be delusional, make fun of me all you want. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. And if they don't meet our demands, then what we're going to do is then we're going to stop paying our rent. But for right now, stop paying your bills. Stop paying your debt. We're going to start there. And it's like, what the fuck do I have to, my credit score for the house that I'll never buy? I already am not allowed to rent because I don't make enough money. I have to have a cosigner anyway, so what does my credit score even fucking matter? What does it matter, bro? Literally, what?
I mean, getting a house is not the only thing a credit score is used for, right? You could get an apartment. You might have to buy a car, and sometimes some of your employers, they actually look at your credit score. So, getting a house isn't the only thing a credit score is used for. But I don't know. According to her, man, she sounds like she wants to be homeless. I don't know what she wants to do. Like, she clearly I don't know what she wants to do. She doesn't need anything. She doesn't care about anything.
I want Doge out of office. We're done with him. We're done with him. And free healthcare for all people. I'm so dead serious. Guys, we're done with this.
You want to know the scary part about this? This person votes, right? This person votes in our elections, right? They have a vote, and because clearly she belongs in an asylum, right? And it's when I'm listening to her, I'm like, yo, you talking about making demands. Nobody's gonna listen to your demands. No one cares. Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand the United States is, we're the richest country in the world, but some people think that United States is a country of unlimited resources. That we have money for everybody, for everything. We just unlimited. Like, we have all the money in the world. We should be able to give free things for everybody. Like, I don't understand people with this mindset. They have this entitled mindset that they deserve free this, free that. And if you don't give it to them, they try to make all these demands. Like, look you think you could not make payments on your student debt, you can make not payments on your rent, but then they're gonna garnish you, right? They're gonna come for your wages, right? They're gonna come for, but I don't know, the way she makes it sound like she probably don't even got a job, right? I don't even understand. Like, so her next step is just being homeless. Okay, so I mean, it's getting to a point where it's just like, look, I get it, man. The political climate is crazy right now. However, like, just relax, man. Go outside and get some sun, right? Breathe a little bit. Okay, it's not that serious. But for you to make these demands where you're talking about putting, critical race theory back in schools, to abolish ICE, like none of these things are going to happen. All right, it's not going to happen. All right, and for those that, like I said, like you think you're gonna be like, all right, I'm not gonna pay my loans, my debt. Like, what's your other option? Like, what are you have to work, right? You have to work because you got to feed yourself. You got to do all these type of things. They're gonna garnish your wages. Tax returns, your tax returns. If you're someone that's expecting a refund, gone. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna take that. Okay, they're gonna go into your checks. They're gonna take that as well, and they're gonna find any other way to get into your to get that money, right? So instead of like wasting time, like complaining, come up with a plan to make payments. Come up with a plan. Pay something. All right. But these people just feel like it's their right, their duty to not have to pay debt on something that they owe. When you have people that didn't go to school and get that debt. There's people that went to school, got the debt, and then paid it off. But no, they want the government to pay off their debt. That's just not how it works. It's your debt. Come up with a plan to pay it back. Okay? You knew exactly what you were doing when you signed up for that debt. You knew it. You knew that whether it was 30,000, 100,000, you knew when you signed it, like, all right, I'm going to have to owe. I'm borrowing this money, and eventually I'm going to have to owe it back, pay it back. But for some reason, they have this idea that they borrowed the money, got the education, and then all of a sudden, I shouldn't have to pay this money back. Like, what world where does this come from? This idea that you feel like you're entitled to just things that you like, things should be just given to you. Like you should, and this is the world we live in where no one wants to be accountable for anything, right? No one wants to be accountable for the bad choices they make in life, right? And we all make bad choices in life, right? I've been someone that's been in debt before, right? I didn't blame anyone. That was my responsibility. And eventually I paid it back, right? But we have a lot of people that feel entitled, that they shouldn't be accountable for the choice that they make in life, good or bad. Right? It's someone else's fault. And this is why you see a lot of them failing, like struggling with life, because they're never accountable for their own actions, right? They're never, like they're not being responsible for the choices that they make, right? You can't solve a problem that you don't own. And it's not until you own that problem is where you come up with a plan to solve it. So a lot of people just say, it's not my fault. It's someone else's fault. And then you see why they're struggling with all types of mental health and just misery. Like they're just very miserable people. They're just unhappy. And you can see that, right? It's getting to a point where like you said, she's delusional, right? She's requesting things that's never going to happen, right? So instead of all this delusion, come up with a plan to pay back the debt. That's it. That's your only option. All right. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. All right, so guys, take care. Have a good one. Later.